Yo, it's the kid, it's the main man here. Half-style whole commentary here for another beautiful football dugout, man. Look, man, we've got an exciting show, great show, man. We're going to talk about everything that has happened over the Premier League weekend, touch on Barcelona's struggle, and of course, Kovac, that's our main topic, and so forth. And all these beautiful things, but again, it's your main man, and I'm here with my good old co-host there, what's it called? Your boy, Nix, your boy, Devil. Hello, come on.
What's good?
I'm just saying 6 and it's 6. And I'm not a Liverpool fan.
Wait, what?
6.
6 for what?
Oh, you guys back in 6th?
Lewis Hamilton, isn't it?
Oh, I thought you meant Man United were back in 6th.
I wish we were back in 6th. I wish we were back in 6th. Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
6 is the magic number.
No, Hamilton, well done, bro.
So are we actually doing other sports? Because I'm all up for that.
I was just shout.
We're doing other sports. Let's go, man.
Look, man, Lewis Hamilton, get that 8th, man. Bitch, your boy, man.
Yeah.
So look, man, Twitter, first of all, our Twitter poll, which is obviously in conjunction with our main topic, which is obviously the very fact that your boy Niko Kovac got sacked. So who should be the replacement for Niko Kovac as Bayern manager, Uncle Mo? So just head over to my Nix's Twitter page, Nix's official Twitter page, or look at my Twitter page where I've retweeted it, vote for it, and then we'll then give you the results about halfway through of thy show. So coming up on the show, as we said again, weekend review of all of the things, our main discussions, of course, the Bayern and Niko Kovac, and obviously at the end we'll take your questions and have a little bit of a Champions League preview of the forthcoming games on Tuesday and Wednesday, and maybe we'll talk about that trash competition called the Europa break that happens on Thursday. No offense.
We're playing Wednesday this week because we're special.
You lot are playing
we're special.
At 10 to 4. People
10 to
ain't
4.
even left school. People ain't left work. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see it.
That's why they did it.
On the
they're
school
doing it
run.
because they feel sorry for Arsenal
Your
fans.
child in one hand, you're watching the game in the next.
What are they playing like?
We're playing on Wednesday.
FC or like?
We're playing Victoria, the same team that almost beat us last what was it, 2 weeks ago? Last week? Last week.
Pepe has to say.
Yeah, Pepe. Yeah. So
Oh my God, man.
they're giving a special dispensation to play
How
on
the
the
mighty
Wednesdays.
have fallen, man. How the mighty have fallen, man.
Who's mighty? Pepe.
Wait, no.
Oh, free man.
Oh, look, man.
You man are still playing on Thursdays.
Thursday's a new Wednesday, isn't it? That's what I'm saying.
Wednesday's the new Wednesday, bro.
But all I'll say is someone needs to just change that theme song. I mean, what that theme song is.
I don't even know what it is. I've never heard it.
Like, all I know is like, that's what I know.
What? Sorry.
It's like, how do you go from the child to
But no, let's be honest. The competition doesn't deserve anything more than. As a matter of fact, it's lucky to get that. You shouldn't have a theme tune. Just start the match.
You know what I mean?
Blow the whistle.
Blow the whistle.
No
That's
crowd. No commentator.
It shouldn't even have a theme tune. That's what it shouldn't have a theme tune, which is crazy. All right, so look, man, let's just get into it, man. So first of all, top 4 odds, man. Top 4 odds. So we have Spurs, Arsenal, and United, who they can't seem to get any consistency. So Tottenham, they drew against Everton. Arsenal, they drew against Wolves, and of course Man United drew against. No, they didn't draw against Bournemouth. They lost against Bournemouth. They took an L there. So here's my thought about this, and I'll swing it to you guys. United are not making top 4.
Correct.
That's a fact. The only chance of getting into the Champions League is by winning the Europa League, which
we're not doing that either.
Again, I'm not sure that's going to happen. I still believe Arsenal will get top 4, but I think Emery cannot play with fire. I just think that Aubameyang is such a goal scorer I still think that they still will, but
you don't trust Chelsea.
Fair enough.
No, Chelsea.
Fair enough.
Chelsea are there.
Chelsea are third.
No, it's obviously
Battle for 4th is between Leicester City and Arsenal.
Well, excuse
Well,
me.
at the moment, Chelsea are below Leicester, aren't
Of course they are.
Yeah.
I mean, only.
Let me reiterate that the battle for 4th is between Leicester City and Arsenal.
Okay, all right.
I trust Brendan Rodgers more than Lampard.
It's a 3-horse title race.
So who's the third horse?
Chelsea. No, Chelsea.
Man City, Liverpool, Man City B.
Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. It's a. Wait, have you been living on their rock or something? It's a 3-horse race.
Yeah.
You're in 4th.
When Man.
Oh, you think you're gonna do a Spurs come third in a 2-horse race?
And your Man City, Liverpool draw. Chelsea get the win and then
Chelsea are looking for a Man United, Spurs, and Arsenal loss. That's what you are looking at.
That's in the past. That's in the past. It's about the future. So make it look. My top 4 things. I think that Tottenham. I don't think they can get top 4. I think Pochettino has taken them as far as he can, and I don't think he can take them any further. I think they miss out on top 4. because I think there's something deep happening with that team. United, we know they're not making top 4. Arsenal, I just don't know. And maybe Devil can speak more since as in for Arsenal. I feel that they will make top 4 by Leicester City. I don't think Leicester City can sustain this form throughout. And I think by Leicester City slipping up, Arsenal will get with those few points that will just get them to sneak into number 4. So how do you look at the whole top 4 range pertaining to your clubs, Arsenal and United? Both not in the Champions League. But
I think the only way we get into top 4 is if we sack Emery and we get someone in who can use the tools available to get the best out of the players.
I heard Nico Kovac is available.
He is available. But you know what? I honestly, I don't know who that right man is because there's not much out there. I don't know if Allegri will be able to come in and turn it around straight away. I don't know if he'd want to come. Mourinho...
The special ones.
Mourinho, you know what comes with it. And personally, it wouldn't sit right with me. You know, I said before that anyone but Emery, but then Mourinho's then you're like, oh, wow, this might actually happen. I don't know about that. I was talking West, but I don't know. But I think if Emery stays, the longer Emery stays, the less chance we have of finishing top 4. I don't think we finish top 4 with him. We've thrown away so many points because he cannot manage a game. You know, we're 1-0 up. We take off Torreira and bring on a winger, and then we concede 3 minutes later. This man doesn't know what he's doing. He's literally just pressing buttons and he doesn't know what's happening. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know when you used to play Tekken, you're just doing this. That's Emery on the sidelines. Anything, just
XO.
button bashing. But that's Emery on the sidelines. He doesn't know what he's doing. So I think Leicester are in a great position.
But you say that, Devo, sorry, about in terms of throwing away leads. But that's Arsenal. Like, that's been Arsenal for years now.
Before Emery, we'd thrown away a 2-goal lead twice in 49 games. We did it 3 times in 2 games under Emery, bro.
You're breaking records.
So yeah, we're breaking records. None of that. Remember when we started that downfall, people were hounding Wenger out. We were doing better at the end of his reign than we are now under Emery. If you look at the same amount of games, we were better. He's made us worse.
So you don't
with
think
better players.
So you don't think Arsenal will get top 4 then? Like,
No, God no. Unless we get rid of Emery and we actually put someone in place who can use the players available. I mean, play them in their correct positions. Play the best players that we have available. Don't be playing players because you like this one, you don't like that one. Yeah, the simple thing. What you don't do,
basics.
You got Aubameyang, one of the best strikers in the league, in form, and you put him on the wide left to accommodate Lacazette. I like Lacazette. I like him. But if you're going to play him up front with Aubameyang. Don't push your best striker out to the left to accommodate Lacazette, who doesn't score many goals.
No,
very true.
Doesn't make sense. As far as Leicester are concerned, I think as long as they're consistent, they'll get top 4. I have no doubt in my mind. As long as they keep... because.
But how likely is that to happen, though?
Well, the last time... Jamie Vardy's the first striker in the league to get double figures. The last time that happened, they won the league. So if Jamie Vardy keeps firing in goals, there's no way we finish above them.
And the thing is with Leicester, Jamie Vardy scored the most goals since Brendan Rodgers come in. So this ain't they just had a good start of the season. Since Rodgers has come in, they've been playing well and they've kept this up for the start of the season. I think it's very rash for you to say...
Rashford.
Remember that free kick. But anyway.
What did you do against Bournemouth for? Carry on.
You support Bournemouth now?
Carry on.
Are you a complicated Bournemouth fan?
But can you answer the question? We have a show to do. Be professional, man.
Light Skin FC. Shout out Bournemouth.
Jeez, man. Just be professional, man.
We let Kings cook. He's a product of Man United Academy.
Yeah, someone from
when we lose, we win anyway. When we lose, we win.
Someone from that academy.
Maybe sports, man. Bloody like shameless promotion. Please.
I did. I just picked this up from home. I was like, look, the thing I threw up.
Bloody shameless promotion, man. Bloody thing. Just talk, man.
But
sports.
I think it's very rare to say that. Can Leicester? I don't think Leicester can keep this up, because when we all said this a few years ago, we were left with egg on our face. Now I was happy with the egg.
That was a once in a lifetime.
I was happy, but we're not even saying win the title.
We're not saying win the title
because I remember that season. It was like, Leicester, they drop off. They drop off. Okay, maybe they can get Europa League, but yeah, they'll drop. Maybe they can get Champions League, but no, we're gonna win the title. And before you knew it, they will win the Premier League without even playing. So I'm not making that mistake again. Sorry, I'm not doing it. I've been there and done that before. Football, you cannot write anything off. You really can't. As a matter of fact, for me, I would say Leicester are like 4th favourites for the top 4. So obviously Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and for me Leicester. And
what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah. 4 favourites for the Champions League spot.
Yeah.
I thought you said. Wait, no.
Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and Leicester. Because
that's right.
Man United ain't getting it.
Oh,
100%.
the top 4.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought you said for the league.
Well, it's the same.
It's the same.
They're still 4
Same.
to get the league. They're not going to get it.
Yeah.
I hope they do. But there's still 4 favourites if we have to put odds on it. Man United ain't getting it. I said it from the start of the season. Nothing's changed in my mind.
Where's your hope in your own team?
No, it's not about hope. It's
You
about
gotta know your team,
Yeah,
man.
it's like I know my
Yeah,
team.
you gotta know your team.
People that live in the fantasy world say it's still Manchester United. Well, you know what? The players go and play the match, not the badge, not the crest, not the the old time players. Bobby Charlton's in the stands. He ain't on the pitch. I think Leicester's gonna do it. I hope they do. Ideally, Man United go on a 17-game winning run and get in top 4. But I've got to be realistic. Ollie ain't at the wheel anymore. That was when Ollie was at the wheel. We were going on 14 games winning. Nobody could stop us. Right now, it's a bumpy road. We need lose Hammond at the wheel. That's what we need.
But with regard to Chelsea and more Lampard, I think basically, I think they've tied the record for most wins they've had in a row. So I think it's a club record that they've tied. So I don't think they've broken it yet, but I think they've tied.
In all competitions.
Really?
No,
Since Mourinho, didn't they go on didn't Conte go on like a 16-game winning run or something?
That's what I thought.
Yes,
can't be.
Seriously, like maybe I'm wrong, but somebody in the live chat tell me there's a record of some sort that they've equaled or
Oh,
something.
isn't it scoring 3 goals in Qatar? How many goals they get against Watford? Is it 2? Oh, okay, no, that's what I want.
Yeah, so
Oh no!
basically,
You know what I think it is? It's how many goals did they concede to Rashford this season? 4 in 2 games. Yeah, something like that.
Next door,
Yeah.
because what's Rashford's record? 11. Tammy Abraham is on his way to obviously breaking Rashford's all-time record.
I'm waiting for Rashford.
So
wait,
Yeah, you got humble pie on that one, bro.
Where's
Abraham's made you look silly, man.
Where's Abraham's free kick? Where's Abraham's free kick?
Oh, so that's what you hold on to now?
No, I'm asking a question.
What?
Where's his free kick?
Rather than the amount of goals that Abraham scores.
But
you're
I
gonna
already
go for one
said.
free kick.
I already said.
How the mighty have
But
fallen.
wait, free
I
kick.
already said I'm gonna wait till the end of the season, and I said
Nothing's gonna happen at the end of the
I said
season.
I'll make my statement, and then at the end of the season, I will either eat my humble pie and say no, I was wrong to the
Eat the humble pie now.
Well,
I'll say
why?
That's okay.
This
On the
time,
last show of the season, we'll bring you a
that's
humble
cool.
pie.
I'm cool as long as
We want apple humble pie, cherry humble pie. I'll bring it for you.
Apple.
Okay, so with regards to Lampard, are you guys surprised by how well he's done with this Chelsea team? Is it a case that they've just been lucky? Is it a case of that he's just lucky that he was blessed with a great group of youth players? So where do you stand with how well Chelsea have done under Lampard, who is still pretty much a rookie, doesn't have that much experience?
No, I'm very impressed with Lampard. I think he's had a few issues and he's managed to adapt. He's changed formation when he's had to. He's brought players in. He's found now. Remember, he's doing this without Kante, arguably the best player in the league. He's been out for a long time. Everyone was talking about Hudson-Odoi is going to come back and be great, and he can't even get in the team because Pulisic is now on a run. They've still got Ruben Loftus-Cheek to come back. So he's done very well with the players he's got. He's adapted well. And even in the losses, when they lost some of the big games, they played well. I can't remember a time this season where Chelsea have played badly. They've played well. They maybe not got the results, but they've always played well. Yeah, true. So big up Frank Lampard, man.
I think he had a good start to the season. I don't think he could have really asked for much more. 20 points from 22 points? I can't remember from the, 11 games or something like that. He's done well, but it's coming to a tricky point of the season when it comes to around November, December, where you got a lot of run of games and a lot of managers, whether they've got experience or inexperience. When you're in the Premier League and you got this big pile up of games, it really does test your resolve. So we'll see how he comes out at the end of it, and you can say, you know what, he's like Premier League made and ready. But yeah, Chelsea's squad as a whole, it helps because their squad is good. The system of sending the youth players out on loan, etc., is now proving dividends. Obviously, of course, I would suggest that if they didn't have the transfer ban, the likes of Abraham, maybe not. No, Hudson though would still be maybe in and around, but Mount, Tomori, we may not have seen them because they would have gone out and bought a centre back, bought this player, bought that player. So I think this ban has been somewhat of a blessing in disguise. And Lampard's, I say, making the best of a bad situation, but more he's taking the opportunity that's been given to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Javan, any interesting comments from the live chat? Anything that we should jump into? And also anybody that insults me or insults us, that don't read that crap out. So
Hazard is irrelevant. Nobody mentions him anymore.
No.
Look, relax. Look at that. So I mean, so basically,
Not at the moment. But
okay. So basically, if anything goes, just shout at me. So, Barcelona lost, and they lost to Levante 3-1, and he's now called Ernesto. So we have to call him by how his parents call him. I think once you reach a point, you can't be professional. You can't give that professional decorum of calling him Valverde. He's now called Ernesto. So we're not his parents now. With regards to this whole Barcelona thing, because I think this we always come to this scenario in football where people are very quick to like the manager, especially when you're dealing with individual stars and star players. Whenever they lose, it's all on the manager. There are very, very few instances where it is 100% the manager's fault. You know, because at the end of the day, you're on that pitch and you're kicking the ball right now. So, with regards to this Barcelona situation, do you think that it is all on Valverde? Or do you think it's a case of where Busquets, Pique, Jessica Alba, these guys, they pretty much reached the end of their... well, that's his name. They pretty much reached the end of their line, and so therefore, they need to... Key players in the team needed to be replaced. So there's only so much the manager can do. So, how much is it maybe a question of management failing to replace Pique, Busquets? How much is it of like a manager unable to get the best out of still a very talented squad and a team? And if not Valverde, who can take Barcelona to the next level?
Mourinho. The translator returns.
Emery could do it.
Stop trying to push Emery on everyone,
Emery
man.
could do it. Got to give him a chance. That's what I said. Just give him a chance.
Listen, I think the writing has been on the wall for Barcelona for a little while actually, because I feel since the MSN era, they've been papering over cracks. That MSN papered over the cracks of their midfield, and since then now the defense. If you looked at how Barca played back then, it was very direct. Bypass the midfield, get it straight to the front three. Now you don't have that dynamism up front as you did in the MSN. They have to play through their midfield. But there was a reason why they weren't playing through the midfield, because it wasn't good enough. And they're not getting any better. I mean, Arthur's good. Busquets is getting older. Rakitic, I mean, he was high, but he was never gonna be like, for what Barca had before, he was never gonna be that guy. Vidal, I don't know if that didn't really work, did it?
That's a strange one, but he's been playing well. But that was a strange signing.
Yeah, because he's not a Barca, is he? He's not really a Barca.
Maybe they felt they needed a bit more, a bit more bastardry in the midfield.
Yeah, maybe
that's what he brings to you. But
Pique, I've never rated him. Personally. Never. I said,
Even at his peak during like the 2010, 2012.
I see what you did there. Pique.
hey,
No, Puyol carried him. Puyol carried Pique, and the fact that Barca has 70% possession every game allowed him to get away with defensive frailties, because he will be attacked 3-4 times a game. He'll make a 1 or 2 errors, but if the key team didn't capitalise on it, you win 5-0 and no one remembers it. Pique in any other team, even a Real Madrid team who didn't dominate possession the way Barca did, he'll be exposed. I never rated him, and I'm happy that he's being exposed now. And it ain't because of his
I think that's a bit strong. I don't think Pique was. I don't think he was ever the greatest.
I'm not saying he was Phil Jones.
No, but I think he was solid. No.
So I'm not saying he was Phil Jones.
Don't bring that up. That's crazy. That guy's like the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's bottom of the barrel, but he was average, man.
I think he was above average.
He was never world class.
I wouldn't.
People talk about him being the best defender in the world.
No, I wouldn't say he was world class, but he was a very, very good centre back, very solid centre back.
Solid.
Yeah, I think he was a very solid centre back.
If he played for you lot during that time, you would have realised how bad he was. The system allowed him because he could pass the ball, he could run out with the ball. That's what I think. Anyway.
No. I mean, I do have to sort of like agree to an extent with Nick's, because it's like same thing with Victor Valdez. Victor Valdez was never a great keeper.
No, Valdez was not a great goalkeeper.
It's like, for me, I think like when Pique, he was decent and good, but he was lucky because he was in the system. Once Xavi and Iniesta left and the possession levels went down, and now you have to do a lot of actual defending, which is what Sergio Ramos has to do every single day for Real Madrid, who are just full on attack. Then, how good are you as a defender? The guy mistake position. So, but I do feel that he was good. I still say he was a good defender, but I'll never have him as like a great defender.
No, he won't go down amongst the greats.
No,
Maldini, no?
No, hell no.
Alright, so look, man. So we always come up with this crap that comes up, man. But this whole racism stuff, man. So Balotelli, now this. So let me tell you why this pisses me off. But let me just give us the whole story. So Brescia against Hellas Verona, racial chanting from the Hellas Verona fans. Balotelli kicks the ball. I think he either kicks.
He
the
aims
fans.
it towards
He
the
aims
fans.
it at the fans. Wants to walk off. The players beg him and convince him to stay on. It's reported to the referee, and the referee goes through the whole rigmarole of like, let's now tell the spectator to say, hey guys, please love black people. Black people are friendly and they're very nice people as well. Oh yes, we'll stop being racist. Thank you, Mr. Spectator. Yay! And all that stuff goes through. So my thing is this: is that the reason why I'm happy that Balotelli wanted to walk off the pitch, because Balotelli
or you're unhappy?
I'm happy he wanted to walk off the pitch because Balotelli isn't John Barnes. Balotelli is from the new school. And he's like, no, I'm not. No, this is stupid. I want to bring the game into disrepute, similar to what Kevin Prince Boateng wanted to do. But my thing is that the reason of why the players wanted him to stay, and it's this whole thing of like, hey man, if you stay on the pitch and you score, you're gonna get them on this guy. So I feel that, because what's it called? They're saying doing the same thing multiple times over and over again, expecting a different result, is the definition of madness. For decades, the whole thing was like, we stayed on, we played, but it still continued. There's never been a series of events where a player or a team have walked off and brought the game into disrepute. That has never happened over multiple times, only in sporadic instances. So, hey. Okay. So do you think that? So how did you guys view this situation, and what can be done for actual real progress to be made, or are we just stuck in this endless cycle?
The problem is now is that what it's become in Italy is it's become the go-to for every Italian club to just racially abuse black players, because they know there's going to be no comeback, there's going to be no consequence really. Do you know, a few £1,000. Nah, we could take that. Who cares? And they're going at it. It's like if there's a certain story that comes out in the paper about a footballer, for example, in this country, and the next week the supporters will tease that player for that. That's what it's become in Italy. It's become a thing of, yes, let's racially abuse players because it's funny. Do you know what I mean? That's what they're going for. And for Balotelli, for what he did was 100% right. Where my problem lies is his teammates should have said, all right, cool, let's go, we'll go with you. There shouldn't be a case of them trying to say, no, stay on the pitch. It should be like,
which is what the AC Milan guys did with Kevin Prince Boateng.
Yeah,
they all walked off with him.
All right, you're abusing one of us, we're going with you. All of us, we move as a team. We go off the pitch and we ain't coming back until this thing's done. It's either you call the game off, whatever you need to do. But no, they were trying to keep him on the pitch. The Verona players were trying to make out, and then the manager comes out and says there was no racial chanting. And I know I've been racially abused before. They call me dirty gypsy, so you can't. It's like, wait, so what? How does that even make sense? It's like, no, I've been racially abused. I don't do it twice. No, it didn't happen to you. That's rubbish. There's a massive problem in Italy with this, because people just don't understand racism. Saying, oh no, we're trying to put them off. No, you're racially abusing someone. And Balotelli was 100% right to walk off the pitch. And I wish...
And he was 100% right to kick the ball at them.
Yeah, 100%.
I wish he had hit someone. I'm not sorry, I don't care.
You know what I've always thought of? Eric Cantona. Yeah. Remember Eric Cantona when he fly kicked the man at Crystal Palace because he called him a French whatever? Yeah. Imagine a black player did that now.
Listen.
Imagine.
It has to happen. I'm not going to lie. It has to happen. Because, let's say, who can't hear must feel. Yeah. And these people can't hear. They can't. And for me, when I saw what Balotelli did, I said, yes, my brother. Because that's the kind of, you might say, militancy that needs to be taken on this kind of issue. It's too much. We spoke about England before, and it was all lip service. Oh, we're going to do that, we're going to do that. Let's stand at the side of the pitch and make like we're going to walk off. We're not really going to walk off because we want to get the 3 points and win the game and qualify for the Euro, because, of course, that's more important than someone's social well-being. Balotelli said, nah, I don't care. I don't know what the score was at the time.
They were losing 2-0.
They were losing 2-0. I don't care.
And I was say, didn't he score?
He scored. They had to make it 2-1. He came back on and scored a banner.
I don't care. I'm coming off this pitch. And for me, one of the biggest issues, what you mentioned, is that the players did not support him in the action. But I think you spoke about it the last time we mentioned this, and it seems like it's every week we're talking about it, that it can't just be the black players who stand in solidarity with their own brothers, the white players have to take the same stand. One, they're the majority in European football, of course, because we're in Europe. And two, if someone who looks like you, not say things like you, but of your ilk, culturally, is telling you X, Y, Z is wrong, you're more likely to take it more seriously. Actually think about it and think, you know what, maybe he's right, because he's not like them, culture, etc. But he thinks that it's wrong. Why does he think it's wrong? But when people are just like, just face the music, and the best way to respond is by staying on the pitch. Well, I mean, they say history is best qualified to reward all research, and history shows that by staying on the pitch, nothing has changed. So let's try something else. Yeah. As you said, doing the same thing over and again is the definition of insanity.
It's going to come to a point, and it has to come to a point where black players refuse to play in Italy. Dude. Like, why would you sign for a club in Italy when you see this week in, week out?
Yeah. And
sooner or later,
it's been happening for ages.
Yeah, sooner or later you're going to say, when your agent goes, we got a call from Lazio. Nah. What else you got?
It's funny because
Rotherham, I'm going there. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you keep playing in Italy?
It's funny because when Lukaku joined Inter Milan, and he made some kind of statement about abuse he'd got in Man United, but it's more like people obviously talking about his ability as a footballer, etc. And I think he did an interview before he left, and the interview came out after he had actually signed for Inter, and he's like, basically he couldn't, that abuse was too much. And I don't know if I tweeted it, I may have, but I definitely said, like, well, if you think this was bad, wait till you get to Italy. Because if you can't deal with this, where nothing was racial, but there may maybe some racial undertones, but nothing directly racial, wait till you get to Italy. And he's been to Italy.
Well, he had it
a
after
few
3
months
games.
ago. Yeah, he had it already.
2-3 games, he got it.
So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But
all right, well, look, man.
Got a few comments.
All right. Hit us with a few. What are the people saying, man? What do the streets say?
So I've got one, should be coming up on the screen now. It says, Italians will always be super racist. Ever since the olden days when the Moors came in and piped down them Italian women.
Oh God!
So this is how deep it's getting. All right, maybe. So maybe this is the thing, man.
Pipe down them Italian women and turn blonde haired and fair Italian to dark skin, and dark hair they have, and I think that's where it cut off. I don't know.
No, you're saying that's when they've been racist since then.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Oh no!
So leave those Italian women alone, man. Jeez, man, leave them unpiped.
We say no plumbing around here.
Oh gosh, leave those screws alone, man. So
screaming.
Let's go to our main discussion right now, man. And it's about your boy Nico Kovac. Now this was weird, man. This was weird because this normally doesn't. Normally, whenever you see sackers, normally happen like on a Monday or a Tuesday and everything, because I believe the Bayern Frankfurt game took place on the Saturday, the 2:30 game on a Saturday, and Sunday I'm just scrolling through Sunday evening, didn't think that anything was going to come up, and boom, Nico Kovac is trending. What the hell? So, and this is where maybe guys in the live chats can maybe give us some clarity if you guys know. What I heard initially was that he was sacked by Bayern Munich, but now we're hearing other reports that he actually offered his resignation, and he actually brought us and made a statement about how him and his brother, who's part of his coaching crew, they're very happy with what they've done, happy about the success winning the league last season, and they are leaving on very good terms, and they're happy with the work that they did with Bayern Munich. So my thing is this, it was a crazy defeat and an unacceptable defeat. Even if they were down to 10 men, Bayern Munich down to 10 men should not be losing 5-1 to Frankfurt. My thing is that we're not even halfway through the season, and if you're looking at the Bundesliga table, my gosh, it's like maybe 5 or 6 points between first and 10th or 11th. Yeah. So there's very much a chance for Bayern Munich to easily still win the title. They are doing really well in the Champions League, coming off that amazing victory that they had over Tottenham. So, do you think that whether it was a resignation or a sacking, this was the right time to let Niko Kovac go? unsettling thing and bringing a new manager in, or could it be a Carlo Ancelotti situation where there is maybe stuff that we don't know fully, i.e., a breakdown in communication between him and the players. The players must really liking the training regimes, and obviously maybe this was obviously seen from last season and how they struggled last season, and Bayern have just nipped it in the bud of like, you know what, before this gets to irreparable damage, let's stop this in right now. So where do you guys stand? Should he have been given much more of a chance at the season, or was this the right time to do this, or it should be done maybe later on?
I don't know. I think there's more behind the scenes than what we know about. The defeat in itself against Frankfurt that doesn't happen to Bayern Munich. So I don't know if it's off the back of that and they thought, wow, all right, this isn't good. We need to get rid of this guy. Or if it was something that had been bubbling up for a little while. I think there's been 1 or 2 reports of some unrest between players or something like that, which has happened before at Bayern. We've seen it before. I know Thomas Muller's very much a part of the furniture at Bayern Munich, and he's been very unhappy. So I don't know if maybe he's been in the ears of some players.
Bro, definitely. If he's part of the furniture, he's flipping old school IKEA. That's really red stuff.
You know,
that guy's done.
Him, Neuer, them guys, they have got a lot of sway at Bayern Munich.
Come like John Terry.
Like when John Terry was at
Chelsea and they got rid of AVB.
Yeah, there's a lot. They got a lot of power in that dressing room. If you don't keep them happy, and then results don't really aren't going your way, you know you got a short time span. You know what I mean? And we've seen it. He's left. In terms of what they do next, it's going to be a massive appointment because there's some big names out there that are available at the moment. You know, you talk about Allegri, talk about Mourinho, even Wenger. Wenger could be the man to go in there. You never know. So there's some big names available, and it's a big position to fill. And they need to win the Champions League. Yeah. Because the league is one thing. They need to win the Champions League. So I think they put that in mind. I mean, they're doing well in the Champions League.
Yeah, the top of the group.
They're doing well. They're doing very well in the Champions League. So yeah, it's a strange one in terms of timing. But and didn't he used to manage Frankfurt as well? He was Frankfurt manager. Oh boy.
Because Frankfurt defeated.
In the cup final.
He was the manager of Frankfurt. That was his last game, innit?
Yeah. That's a bit strange.
But see, I don't think. Results plays its part, but I don't think he's been sacked purely because of results. Because if you look at the results alone, in terms of like where they are compared to their aspirations and their competitors, they're not far off where they should be. Yeah, they could be top, but that's an extra 4 points. It's 4 points the difference between being sacked and not being sacked in November or even October. It was beginning of November as it was. I think there's much more than that. I think last season, they were very fortunate to win the league. In the end, of course, it became a domestic double.
No, because Dortmund are a bunch of jokes.
Yes, it became a domestic double. So I think they're looking at that like, you got lucky last season. Show me something different. Yeah. And he hasn't shown anything different. Not that what they're doing now, they might still end up winning the league, but they need more than that. Winning the league for Bayern is the bare minimum. And you need to show me something different. Coutinho started the season well. He hasn't.
They spent money as well.
Yeah. We could Perisic, Coutinho, the two fullbacks.
Hernandez, Pavard.
Yeah. So, but Coutinho started the season well. Last few games, last few games he ain't really been on it. That's what their marquee signings. Is it Coutinho? Is it the manager? And is he big enough for that role? Big enough to manage those players like Lewandowski, like Neuer you mentioned, even the likes of Jerome Boateng. These are big characters with experience. When results are starting to go a certain way, players will start to doubt you. If you have an experienced manager in there, it's like, listen, I've been there before. Relax. We lost. All right, cool. Don't worry. I've been here. Has he been there before? Has he managed a club of this size? No, he hasn't. And when you get ex-players, legends like I think Lothar Matthäus, criticizing his selections, his formation, etc. That puts this added pressure. We know how much Bayern are. You might say a family club. It's run by the fans. Like in most of the clubs in Germany, as a matter of fact, all of them even in the Bundesliga, they have that element of the fan aspect of the club. When you start getting that kind of pressure, there's going to be pressure from above to make those changes. And you think they've got a man in place or a thought to be sacking someone in October. It's risky, but I mean...
It's very risky. I mean, because it's like, but my thing is that maybe because let's say like this was done, let's say in December or January, and they're like 9 points behind, and like things are, and they've been on a really bad run again. It'll be much more difficult for a manager to come in and now try and change that. Right now, there's so much football to be played. You're pretty much going to qualify throughout your Champions League group, and the league is so crazy with guys winning and losing. So there's still enough time for someone to do something. So I think that maybe this leads on to our next question. And obviously, I mean, Javan, if you can just load up that Twitter results when you can. Who comes in? Because it's like, my thing about this is that I believe that this is the time that the Phoenix rises. You know where it is. This is the time when my boy comes back and says, you know what, what's up? But I mean,
Mr. Wenger.
Bro. So my thing is that, look, I mean, Raf Benitez is still out there. I think he's still out of a job. I think he's very...
No, he's in China, no?
He's in China?
He's in China. He's getting that money. End of his career.
Oh my God.
Big bucks.
Wait, who did he try and sign? He tried to sign... Oh, yeah, he signed Rondon, didn't he? Yeah, he signed Rondon.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Raf is in that Chinese...
I mean, to be honest, sorry. He's still available, isn't it? When you're in China, you're available. You're available. Bayern Munich, you can say, no, I'll stay with Shanghai.
With the stuff that's happening in Hong Kong now and the NBA, look, let's just be nice with China. Not look bad, 10, that cash, baby. China, what up, baby? So who do you think, as a manager, can come in and really do as good as a job? Because I think the last quality manager that Bayern had was Jupp Heynckes. Because obviously when he...
That's harsh. That's harsh.
Wait.
If Guardiola was a quality manager...
No.
Heinekes went back after
he went back.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant that.
Also,
I'm not saying he was better than Heinekes. I'm saying he was a quality manager. No.
Did Pep reach a Champions League final in 3 years with...
What was he a quality manager?
No, but
he wasn't.
To lead on from what you said, I wouldn't be surprised if Heinekes goes back to the end of the season, and then they try and get one of the Nagelsmann or someone of that ilk to take them forward long term.
I don't mean to be rude or anything.
You're about to be rude.
Look, first of all, the guy was watching was watching Dallas or what's this Humphrey Bogart films in the retirement home. His slippers was up. He was getting fed coffee and everything by his escorts and everything, because escorts do go to retirement homes. And then the guy said like, yo, can you please help us with this thing, because this actually guy's crap. He's like, look, man, I'm trying to get my groove on. Man. And so basically, your man is, look, man,
maybe he could put that in his contract. Have 5 blue pills a month.
Once you do what your banker does, man, you're living pretty. So, but you may be right though. They may get him for that temporary period yet again. So look, man, see us through, and let's not try and think of who the next long-term guy can be. So,
well, according to German Sky in Germany, Erik ten Hag's already been contacted.
Yeah,
Erik ten Hag, the Ajax manager. He's already been contacted, but apparently he's only going to be available at the end of the season. So getting someone in on a caretaker basis could be would make sense if a manager out there who only wants to come at the end of the season. We know Allegri's apparently on a sabbatical.
Hiatus, yeah.
So we're sabbatical for what?
I don't know.
He wants a break from football.
It's the new thing. It's the new in thing. Oh yeah. Let me take a break. Wait, Wenger didn't take a break. Ferguson didn't take a break. What do you mean break? Anyway, but he's on a break apparently from something. From earning the millions.
Very stressful, yeah.
So if you had to pick it, because for me, there's only one name. There's only one name.
If it was me,
and the world wants it.
The world doesn't want him.
Yeah.
But if it was up to me, I would go for Mourinho. But I think I'm speaking on a bias level because I like Mourinho.
We all do.
No, Devo doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Devo
does. Javan does. Everyone.
I don't.
No.
Javan might. Devo doesn't.
Like Mourinho.
He might. I say he might.
I don't like Mourinho.
The man said, he said when Mourinho got sacked, he made this. He said Mourinho would never manage get a top job basically in club football.
I think he's done it at elite level.
At level. That's what
he's done at the elite level.
So I know them.
So if he went, I would like him to go Bayern. And I said this to you off air. What if he goes Bayern and he doesn't win the league? What if he goes to Bayern and they finish third?
Then he has to win the World Cup with Portugal.
Then I'm saying he's done at the highest level. He's done. Anyway,
I would be happy for him to go to Bayern. Listen, the man's a winner, innit? Whatever you want to say about his style, his character, this, that, whatever, he's a winner.
And that's what Bayern, they just need someone just to win.
Nah, they need to think long
I
term.
don't. Honestly, I don't even know
They
what
have to
Bayern
think
want.
long-term.
I'm not sure what Bayern are looking for and exactly what they want. Do they want good football and winning? Do they just want to win right now? I see Bayern as a very holistic club.
Yeah.
It's not. It's more than just winning with
Yeah.
Bayern and a lot of German clubs, maybe outside RB Leipzig.
Yeah, Leipzig are the only
And
ones.
that's why
maybe that's the new
Bundesliga
blueprint.
Leipzig.
Maybe that's the new blueprint. Maybe they're seeing what Leipzig are doing, and Leipzig are they're a dangerous side. Maybe they're thinking, right, well, these guys have got a system in place, which means that they're going to be good for a long period of time because they only sign players under a certain age. They have massive sell-on value. They fit players into their system. So technically, you'd think that would be able to go. And they've got one of the best young managers in the world at Leipzig. That's dangerous. Dortmund have got pieces in place where if it clicks, they could go on and be a dangerous side. So maybe Bayern thinking, right, we need to rethink this. We need to come up with something where we have something in place for the next 5-6 years. It can't just be now. Or, as you said, they get Mourinho in and they get instant success for 2 years, and then it all goes, then it all goes downhill very quickly after the third year.
I would love Mourinho to go there, but I would be surprised. He doesn't. You might even say similar to when Man United signed him. A lot of people said it's not going to work because what he wants and what the philosophy and of Manchester United are chalk and cheese. And I see Bayern Munich in that same mode. I would like it to happen. I would like him to be successful, but I'll be surprised. I think Ten Hag makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
Allegri could make sense. It could. He ain't gonna play exciting football. Well, yeah, but he did what he did with Juve
And
Bayern.
Champions League
Exactly,
finals as well.
Bayern.
And lost both.
Yeah, no, but Bayern, barring Dortmund, how they are at the moment, are the Juve of German football. So if he goes there, he can win back to back Bundesligas, and he can get them to 2 Champions League finals. And maybe he ain't gonna play Ronaldo, and he ain't gonna play a Messi, MSN, and he can maybe win it, innit? And maybe that Bayern team is gonna be better than the Juve team, even though they were decent teams at the time. They get there, innit? So he can't be, because he managed the best team in Italy. You can't use that against him. Because now
that's exactly what I'm using against him.
He can't. Because he did what he could do. No one expected him to beat Real Madrid in that final, nor did they expect him to beat Barcelona.
2017, Juventus were heavily favoured. Remember,
was that not the second? Wasn't that Real Madrid's back to? That was because they won the one the year before.
But remember,
only because people thought you can't do it twice in a row.
No.
It was more than that.
That's the only reason why.
First of all, because nobody had ever seen a team defend this before, and also. Remember, that was the season that Barcelona did that amazing thing against PSG. Everyone thought that Barcelona would defeat Juventus. Both legs, Juventus shot at Barcelona completely. So based on how Juve dealt with Barcelona, people...
You mean the Barca who got dealt with by PSG in the first leg? I mean, sorry, when you lose 4-0 to PSG...
Then they won 6-1.
Yeah, but that was Emery. That was Emery. I'm telling you, he's a bum. I'm telling you.
You say all wrong me to Emery. It all brings it back to...
He's the centre of
Brexit, Emery.
It wouldn't be surprising. What? When did he get here? No, I'm joking.
Oh, no. It actually could be...
comments.
Oh, yeah, let's take those comments.
So we've got Bayern is in a tough spot. Lewandowski is having some small injury and operation and will be missing for 2 weeks.
Oh, damn.
If they play like they play without Lewandowski under Kovac, they are going down.
Going down where, sorry? To the Europa League? Pray not.
No, but Lewandowski has been carrying those guys in the individual. That's why he's probably one of the most informed players right now.
Got someone here that says Mourinho can't get that job, HH.
Why
Bayern can't do that. I don't know why not.
Who said that?
Wait, wait.
Rodney Sinalogu.
Look, Rodney Dangerous or whatever, or Rodney Dangerous.
Sinalogu.
No, Uncle Mo is going to prove, because remember, this is what I always say. Look how trash, and no offense, Nick's, but offense is coming your way. Look how trash Man United are right now. Complete utter garbage. Somehow, this guy Mourinho won 3 trophies with these garbage dudes. The fact that he won, 3 trophies. Not like he won 3 trophies.
Barely won. It's barely won.
Can I land?
No.
Then land, please.
Don't reverse that.
The fact that he won 3 trophies with these dudes shows you what he was dealing with. To prove that Uncle Mo is done,
Worthington.
let him go to a club like a Bayern, Juventus, or Real Madrid and fail there. Then you can say he's done at the top. Give him a team that actually has quality players. Let him fail. Then he's done at the top.
I think that's what we're going to see.
Disclaimer: Community Shield is not a trophy.
Yes, it is.
League Cup.
Do you lift it up? Is it made of metal?
Oh, look at this trophy.
No,
look at this trophy.
It's not made of metal.
You know the thing is,
Carbonite.
you know,
This is the metal.
No, that's carbonite. It's not so strong.
Oh, listen, let me find some metal in it.
you know
There's
what?
metal here.
One thing I will say about those who say I think the Community Shield is not. You can't really discuss it as a trophy, but to get there, generally you have to win a trophy. Did Man United get there because they won the FA Cup?
Yeah, and who won it? LVG.
LVG,
Not Mourinho.
Yeah.
Not Mourinho.
So I think it's the same with like the European Super Cup. People are like, it's not a trophy. It's like, but you either won the Europa League or you won the Champions League to get there.
And the League Cup. Sorry, the Worthington Cup. Because I'm calling it that because it's worthless. That's
Easy,
what I
relax,
grew up
relax,
on the
relax.
Worthington Cup. And the fact that they keep changing their names every
that just
week.
shows how
It's
dead
not how
it
dead it is. Carling Cup. What's Carabao? You ever heard of Carabao before?
Oh, that's a horrible energy drink.
I've never drank it in my life.
It's
Never heard
horrible.
it before. They I see you were in NFL, I just realised.
Yeah.
So change of sport. But,
Seahawks.
But England is the only country in the top 5 European leagues who have 2 domestic trophies, FA Cup and the League Cup. We're just creating trophies for the sake of it.
No, France also has
No,
it.
they used to. They got rid of it.
Oh,
Even Uber Eats know that having a League Cup as a domestic trophy is
This
a
is the
joke.
last season, isn't it?
No, I think it's done.
No, they're doing it this season.
You sure?
Marseille got knocked out by Monaco the other day. I think that's the last season. Next season, there's going to be no League Cup. Yeah.
Uber Eats know.
Yeah.
Okay, so look. Let's look at the Twitter results, man.
Oh yeah.
Now this is very interesting. And I think this is the first time it has happened on Football Dugout. So the question was, who should be the next Bayern Munich manager? #Football Dugout. Thank you for the hashtag. 5% said other.
My man like Emery.
And we said Emery, and another guy said Chris Wilder. Shout out Sheffield United. 20% said Max Allegri. I don't know how good will Allegri do. We have ourselves a tie. Both tied at 38% is Uncle Mo and Eric Ten Hag. Both tied. Now let's actually look. Let's discuss both of them and the notions of both of them coming in. Because my thing is this: is that Ten Hag, I think, again, he's a student of Cruyff, and he follows in the Cruyff philosophy. And Ten Hag has always been a guy where I have my way of playing and I have my philosophy of playing, and I don't. He doesn't have a plan B or plan C. I want to play this progressive, good old school Dutch way, and that's how my boys play. Win, lose or draw, we will live and die by our philosophy. Looking at this Bayern team, him coming in, players are a bit older. Not every player has the kind of technical skill sets of a Ziyech, of a Tadic, and a so forth. With the players that are there, can they do well in Ten Hag's philosophy? Because he has to try and get them over the line till the summer. So now let's say he gets hired in the summer, as we say. Will he have the money and the funds to be able to bring in the players that he needs to play his philosophy? My thing with Mourinho is, okay, is he going to come in and bring the kind of drama that happened at Chelsea, at United, and everything? Because are the players going to go and like him? Are the players going to be in with him? Are they going to fight with him, though? But my thing is about Mourinho knows how to manage situations, whether it's United, Chelsea, boom. He can come into a new team, and so there is past experience of how he can go to different teams. Ten Hag only has one club, and that's it. So, trying to be objective, I think that the more exciting choice is Ten Hag. That's the more interesting, exciting choice. I think the more sensible choice and the safer choice is Mourinho. So it depends. A safer choice is Ten Hag. What the hell did you do?
For me, it's a...
You're not the guy with a worse hairline than me score a hat in 1 half. That's bad, man.
It's a good point you make in terms of whether the players that they're there can suit the style of the manager. I think if we're talking about coming in right now and having certain objectives to the end of the season, I would back Mourinho over Ten Hag with the players at their disposal. If we're talking about coming in the summer, however, and a long-term vision, you have to go with Ten Hag, because you would hope, as a manager of his ilk, Bayern Munich's coming for you, you would say, all right, this is what I want. These are the kind of players that I need. Am I going to have the funds to do that? If they say no, you say, well, I can't join. If you say yes, then you join and you do that. And I think if you can get the players with the pulling power that Bayern have, then of course the style can work. But yeah, to come in at this stage in the season and try and implement this whilst aiming to win the Bundesliga and the Champions League, I think that's a massive ask. And that may be why he said to Bayern, well, I'm available, but at the end of the season, because he probably knows for himself that that's a bigger risk for himself to come in and try and implement his style in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I do think Ten Hag on a longer, if you're thinking a longer time span, I think that's a better appointment. We all seen what Mourinho's do. He will be good for 2-3 years and then the wheels fall off. But as you said, if it's a thing of you want to appoint someone now to have as much success between now and the end of the season, then Mourinho's your guy. Mourinho is a quick fix. He's done that everywhere he's been. But I do think Ten Hag, can he get the players that they have now playing his system of football? I think it'll be tough, but I think they have got some very technically gifted players. Thiago, Gnabry, Goretzka's a good player, although he's never on the pitch. He's always injured. Coutinho. I like Goretzka. Yeah, Coutinho. So they've got some good match winners in that squad. So I think Ten Hag would be the best. If I was a Bayern fan, I would want to see Ten Hag rather than
as a Bayern fan.
Yeah,
100%. But I think as a football world, the drama of like Mourinho, football needs Mourinho, and I'm not saying it in terms of
love him or hate him. He's needed.
He isn't a drama in itself. There's always a story.
He's a force of football.
Yeah, so
maybe they should give it to him, and then we won't get him.
Bro, Mourinho could.
It would be the first disaster of his career.
The first?
The first real disaster of his career. I guarantee you.
All right, so guys, send in your questions right now. Obviously, we'll do a bit of Champions League preview, but send in your questions. We have a super chat here now. Let me just say this in right now. I am bound by law to read super chats because obviously they are donations, and I'm thankful for your donations and everything. But don't get cute. So don't push me to the corner by sending in super chats and insulting me, because that makes no sense. So basically, it's like shaking my hand and then shoving a knife up my rectum, like that, which is stupid. So, Dean Classic, thank you for your super chats, but screw you. So Dean Classic with a $2 super chat said, "Love you, HH." Thank you. You could have just ended it there. Love you, HH. I just said anything. So love you, HH. But you look like Tyrone Biggums right now.
If anyone doesn't know Tyrone Biggums, Google it.
You guys,
I see it.
You guys be objective. What about me looks like Tyrone Biggums?
Look, I see it. It's the hat, the collars. I see it.
Wait, it's Tyrone Biggums, the guy who has all that white cocaine stuff around and he's basically sniffing cocaine all the time?
Yeah, he's crackhead. Dave Chappelle.
So wait, Dean, you're saying that I look like a crackhead?
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Okay, guys, look, send in those questions, man, and then we'll try and just Jovan, if there are any interesting questions, we'll look through them. Champions League. So Inter Milan against Dortmund. What do you say? So obviously, Dortmund won.
Dortmund at home, right?
Dortmund. So Inter won the home game 2-0. So how's that view? Because people are saying Barcelona maybe top spot is up for grabs in that group.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I think Inter will do a number on them again. I think Conte will come up with a plan. I think he'll know that they don't necessarily need to win this game, because remember the head-to-head is important as well. So I think Inter will come up with a plan.
So it's not goal difference, it's head-to-head.
It's goal difference first, I think, but then it's head-to-head.
No. Is it not head-to-head first?
If it's head-to-head, no, they do head-to-head first.
I think it's head-to-head first.
If head-to-head comes to it, they always do head-to-head first. Then the goal.
I think so.
You guys ask us, are they doing head-to-head or is it goal difference in this?
No, it's goal difference first. When Chelsea won the Champions League, I remember. Didn't he only
that was a while ago, though, no?
Did he only qualify? No, so when you got knocked out of the Champions League the next year, I think you got knocked out on goal difference, even though your head-to-head was better than another team.
Because I also like the way
And I don't think they've
head-to-head
changed
first.
it. If they've changed it since then, I could be wrong. But
I think people saying head to head.
okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, so people. I've seen some guy asks, but let's just even if it's a while away, let's still look ahead. Massive game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Massive game. Liverpool against City. Liverpool at home. And
The mind games have started already.
do you know how psychological? And I think maybe that's why. Speaking of mind games, maybe that's why Pep said what it was. Because remember, 100%, Pep would have known that. My gosh, it's 1-1. Of course, he would have known. That's why he was acting like a geriatric psychopath on the sideline. So to hear that we've won, I was like, no.
You think you would have known at that moment? Remember, Man City, they didn't. They were at that time. They were probably 1-1.
Yeah, they were
Around that
shaking
time as
themselves.
well.
But they would have known. He would have known.
Okay.
I reckon he would have
known.
known.
And I think like
Pep's a bit meticulous.
them getting those news that, oh my gosh, Mane scored in the final minute. You're like, oh, that's why he's made those times. Oh, Mane, so if it's a draw, I think I want to say a winner because I think if a team wins, it will be pivotal to the title. I think if
Massive.
City win, they went from I think was it 8 points to 3 points, huge. If Liverpool win, 9 points, that's really
9 points and a win against your competitor.
Yeah.
It's mentally, it's a different.
Mentally.
Because you could be 9 points and you're like, oh, we still got to play them twice. They ain't beating us.
Man City go to Anfield and get 3 points. That's massive.
Massive.
Liverpool don't lose at Anfield. They do not lose at
But
Anfield.
remember, if Mahrez had scored that penalty last season, man, City would have won and they would have won by more. So, as of right now, where would you think Liverpool at Anfield? Liverpool have sort of been up and down, not only in their groove and everything. Man City, crazy thing that both teams haven't really been playing at a very high level. They've not been playing at the kind of high level as they were last season. So where are you leaning towards? Are you leaning more towards Liverpool, more towards Man City? I feel it's going to be a draw, which is boring. I want a winner. I want a winner, but I feel it's going to be a draw. I think they can each other out.
Before you answer that, I got a question
All right.
to go with that.
Okay.
And who is it from? Here we go. It's from Rodney. It's just come up on screen. Will Mane get another clutch goal against City?
Well, I mean, it's written, isn't it? It's written after Pep's, come out and said, Pep's come out and said that he's a diver.
If Mane gets like a last minute winner, no, do you know what would be even
If he wins a penalty.
Yeah.
That would
Thank
be.
you.
Yeah.
That would be.
But
If he wins a penalty,
That moment from Pep will go down alongside Benitez's facts rant
Yeah.
and Kevin Keegan's I would love it if we beat them. Because you can't say that. And then
But you know
Mane
what?
goes win the
He
penalty.
knows what he's doing.
100%.
He knows what he's doing. He's trying to put pressure.
Fergie did it.
Yeah, Fergie used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Put pressure on the referees before the game. So now anything that happens with Mane, because it's out in the sphere and everyone's looking for it, the referee's going to be under pressure to either book him for diving or just not give the decision.
And then we know VAR is going to back up the ref.
Do you know what I mean?
That's the only reason
Pep's
we
very
brought
clever in what he's saying. He's very clever. He's not like he's just come out and said, "Oh, blah." He knows what he's doing. He's putting pressure on before the game. The mind games have started.
so where are you guys leaning, man? Liverpool win, City win, draw. Where are you guys?
Liverpool.
I'm saying Liverpool.
Liverpool. I'm 100%.
I'm on a draw. Like, I actually...
Liverpool win.
Yeah,
So
you know what?
my-
I've seen this before. I was there under Ferguson's era. I know when I see Juju, I know Juju. Liverpool got that Juju right now. They anything they do. You know when they were losing to Villa, not 1% of me thought they ain't gonna get 3 points. When they got to 87 minutes, I was like, there you go. Yeah,
That's what
there you go. I knew 100%. I was like, yeah, they're gonna win this
So
game.
you're convinced that this season Liverpool will win the title?
They're gonna win the title.
I think they're going to win the title as well.
Oh, 100%.
I think they're going to... But I think... I just think that it's going to be a draw because...
It'll be a draw.
A draw is actually not bad for either side. And Man City, obviously, ideally love a win, close the gap. But it's November. Going to Anfield, not losing, coming out with the same gap is not the worst thing.
not the worst.
So if you're
Because Man City have to back themselves to beat Liverpool at the Etihad.
based on my things are how should both teams approach this? Should City aggressively go for the win, or let's just see how the game goes?
They just have to play their game.
Honestly, I think both should just play for the draw. No, I'm being...
Klopp can't play
He
for the
can.
draw.
Look how he... Look, but he did. Last season, he played for the draw.
Yeah, but remember,
in both games.
Mahrez should have scored that penalty.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
And
but
you know what I mean? It's a dangerous game to play.
listen, the thing with Klopp, and we say this, I don't think managers at this level are stubborn. They've got where they've got because they've got they played a certain way, a certain style against different oppositions. Klopp played at Manchester United the other day, and the people said he needs to change. When we played Man United before, he was too conservative. We're much better than we to go. We saw when they played, they didn't attack very much. They didn't play very well for whatever reason. Last season when they played Man City at Anfield, he sat back, played for the draw, and got the draw in the end. Nearly lost, got the draw. Then people said, all right, you go to Etihad, you're 7 points clear at the time. If you win, the title's done. If you lose, you're still 4 points clear. You might as well go for the win. He played for the draw and he lost. I can't see him going out against Man City and trying to win, because if he loses to Man City, he knows that the title pendulum swings. And I don't think he's going to risk it. I see 1-1 just written all over. 1-1. Everyone shakes hands and let's beat everyone else now.
I just hope it's a good game of football. I hope it's not one of these nervy affairs where people are a bit, I just hope it's a good game of football.
I think it'll be similar to the game last season. It'll be a very tight game where Premier City maybe controlled the game a lot and it was just very close. Super chat here. 5 points. Thank you, Pasha, for your super chat. Should Pique retire from playing as he's more interested in non-football things currently?
To be fair, if I had a wife that looked,
I'd have stopped playing a long time.
Shakira, I would.
They divorce.
No, what?
I don't know.
Is it?
I mean, guys, that's what I think that Pique. I think they.
Well, I say if I had, then I might be more interested in things. No. What's he interested in outside football?
He's got production company, movies and stuff.
And also the whole
He produced that Griezmann's documentary before he left that. He produced it.
Is it?
Yeah, it's his production company.
He was willing to give up his wages. He does charity as well, isn't he? He was willing to give up his wages to get Neymar.
Like he's into this whole like Catalan thing, like
Okay.
So like political stuff and everything. But for me, I think for Pique, that is a very good, because it does seem as if like he has other interests and his focus isn't fully on football right now. And with the way that Barcelona are going right now and the mistakes that he's making, because I've always said, like, look, man, Titi, if it's his fit, he should be the guy that's pretty much starting for Barcelona. And should be. I mean, Longley, I think it's trash. Well, no, not trash, but he's okay. I don't think that Pique is good enough to be a starter for a top tier team. I just don't know.
Yeah, so I know which one you're gonna be.
There's been more piping and plumbing going on in the chat. Cap Levi's page. He's the one who's mentioned the plumbing before and the piping. Do with their lives. They haven't, invested their money. They haven't got a plan for when they leave the game unless they become, coaches or managers. And we see so many of these millionaires, billionaires who blow their money, gambling, this. So I have no issue, and I would even encourage. Pique, how old is he? 30 what?
He must be 32, 33. He must be.
He's getting to the end of his career. Have your little interest now. Start your little thing, because when you finish football, you need to have something that's going to keep you occupied. Because if you don't, that's when you end up, drinking, drugs, depressed, all that kind of stuff. Is it affecting his football? No, as I said, I didn't rate him in the first place. I just think he's just being exposed because he hasn't got certain rocks around him. But no, keep playing as long as you're enjoying it, and keep doing your stuff on the outside, because your life after football, you hope, is going to be longer than your life during football, isn't it? So yeah, do your thing, Gerard.
Guys, man, I suppose it's all.
So can we just say before we go, just want to say, Andre Gomez.
Oh yeah.
Sending our thoughts out to him, man. That was a horrible injury, bro.
I think. Like whenever these things happen, it's like people always be like, gosh, how could you do this and everything? And even before, I didn't even have to view the tackle. Son is an attacking flair player. I knew that he didn't mean doing that. Shawcross, we know the guy that Shawcross was. Shawcross went in hard on Ramsey. If let's say there was Neil Razor Roddock, did the tackle, you're calling Neil the Razor Roddock. So I just think that whenever these things happen, it's just things of like, it's the angle he went at, the timing.
See, the thing about it is that I didn't see the game. I didn't see the game. But I heard that there was an elbow from Andre Gomez not long before that on Son. He caught him with the elbow. And Son, when you see the challenge, Son, there was no way he was going to get the ball. So I think Son, I don't know if it was a tactical foul or if it was just like, right, you got me, so I'm going to get you, kick out. But it wasn't a vicious, reckless foul.
That's
It was a slide from behind, kind of clip him to trip him up.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate his momentum took him in. And if anything, Aurier was very clumsy. Aurier, we know what he's like. He's clumsy. Very clumsy. He's come down on his ankle, and we all know what happened from there. So to blame Son, I think is a bit wrong. Son shouldn't have put the challenge in. Yeah. It's a booking,
but
100%.
But that's a challenge we see in football anyway.
Without Aurier going in, then there is no leg break.
But we know that from the moment that when the referee had the yellow card out and he booked him until he saw the actual injury. Now I'm not, Dermot Gallagher came on Sky and he does it. He reviews the different referee decisions and he says you have to understand the referee in that sense where. You've seen the injury.
Yeah.
Maybe you in your thing you're thinking maybe I missed the tackle. Maybe I didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe it's actually worse than I thought. However,
I feel sorry for him in that instance.
we have VAR. Now, the bigger issue is Gomez's injury. It's a massive injury, but we have VAR. VAR should have said, Gomez, whatever. I hope you get well, etc. But the tackle from Son, not a red card offence.
No, but
he had to overturn that.
Are they going to retro?
Well, I hope they do, but because of the situation itself, they may just say we're not going to. But no. But you have
what's
to
the
because
situation? No, like the tackle. It is bad what happened to Andre Gomez.
but the tackle wasn't a red card offence.
So you have to look at it from a footballing point of view. Yes, the injury is terrible and it's horrible and that shouldn't happen on a football pitch. But the tackle was not a red card tackle. VAR is there. The referee made a decision emotionally.
Yes.
Which
is understandable.
It's understandable.
The referee, it
but
makes full sense.
He saw the injury and said, "Oh my god, yeah, that's a red card offence." Even if he hadn't sent him off, someone had to come off anyway. There's no
100%.
way he could have played after that.
100%.
No way. He was gone. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully Son can recover from that and it doesn't affect him going forward because he was in bits.
Well,
I've never seen a player like that on a football pitch.
Like what's it called? Schmeichel had to say psychologist when the boss
David Boost,
injury and say psychologist. So for me, look, I just think, man, it's like hopefully just Gomez can recover from that. It's just the things with football. These things happen, man. These things happen. Guys, all's well, man. Remember to follow your boy Dev, your boy Nix via their Twitter pages, follow their handles and so forth. And we shall see you, lovely people, next week, Monday. Stay true, stay black. Send Seattle Seahawks. Man.
Shout out to Lewis Hamilton 6 times.
Peace, blacks.
Yeah, because after the